Jonathan Fahey, he's the former acting ICE director. Sir, welcome back here. How does this end?
Thank you.
Or does it anytime soon?
It seems like what President Trump posted today about invoking the Insurrection Act seems to be the way this is going, and that's the way it will end. And just to invoke the Insurrection Act, he just has to make a determination that is impractical to enforce federal law because of the obstructionist activities. And I think that's apparent just by the reporting you just had. And you have people like Tim Walz, the irony of him saying they don't want chaos when he is seemingly doing everything he can to sow chaos, to cause division, to encourage people to subvert ICE in their mission. It's really shameful, but I think we're going down the road of the Insurrection Act because Governor Walz is not going to step up to his responsibility and get his streets safe so ICE can do their job. And remember, ICE is enacting the laws passed by Congress, or not enforcing them. They are doing something inherently democratic, and Tim Walz and Jacob Fry and others are trying to prevent that. So it seems like only one road to go at this point for President Trump, and I think he's onto this, that we need this to stop, and immigration enforcement is going to continue.
Governor Walz yesterday gave this address. He's certainly not looking for a climb down.
The federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door. Carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans.
Atrocities is a strong word. Insurrection Act is a strong word. I mean, this feels like after a week, it's not anywhere close to de-escalating, but actually getting hotter.
Yeah, it almost seems like they want to have another George Floyd 2020 summer. But you know what he doesn't mention is the people that ICE has been removing: sex offenders, violent criminals. ICE has been taking them off of Minnesota streets, and these are people that Minnesota would not turn over to ICE. They'd rather put them out in the community. So if he would just cooperate and help with getting the serious criminals off the street, everyone would benefit. But Minnesotans and the American people as a whole are benefiting from President Trump's actions. We have a 20% crime reduction last year, just in the first year, and that's because President Trump has removed approximately 400,000 plus illegal aliens with criminal records. So President Trump is making things safer, and people like Walz want to keep this going probably for political reasons, and it's very shameful. But you're right, I think it does seem to be getting worse, and they don't seem to be doing anything they can to tamp it down. Tim Walz should say ICE has a legitimate job to do. If you have a different view, voice that view, but stay out of their way. But he can't do that for some reason.
I sense that the mayor's changing his tune. Yesterday he said, don't fall into the chaos that the White House wants. That's what he's saying. In other words, like, pull back the reins on this. But this comment from the governor about creating a database,
right?
What do you do with that?
Well, it's clearly designed to intimidate ICE from doing their job. They're also implying we're going to prosecute these ICE agents for doing the, quote unquote, atrocities. Of course, hopefully, the ICE agents do know they do have supremacy clause immunity, and it's been well litigated in the courts, but it's still an effort to intimidate them from doing their job. And the overall theme here is the Democratic Party does not want illegal immigrants deported, and they are doing everything they can to resist it. And partially it's gotten so crazy because President Trump has been so successful in this year by deporting criminals and making the community safer. But it really is shameful. I do agree Jacob Fry did make some comments that seem more accommodating, but he also claims they're supportive of deporting criminals, which in fact their policies are the exact opposite of.
But I don't think the people who are protesting are listening to the mayor or the governor. They're listening to ICE Watch and to each other and to these viral clips. It's a different way of communicating than we've seen in the recent past. John, thank you.
Thank you.